All right, so we're back and talking about some automation stuff. We just did a little bit of automation in the arrangement view, which is very similar to like automation in Pro Tools or Logic or whatever. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you some automation in the clip envelope. That's right here. And for this, you don't need any A key or anything like that. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the notes here real quick. So clip envelopes. These are automation data that loop with your clip. To access the clip envelopes, click the little clip envelope button in the lower left corner, and then to choose the parameter you want to automate, just click it in the plugin. So let's go ahead and start with gain automation. Gain automation is a pretty cool thing to start with, and we can also do some transpose automation and stuff. So we're going to use this chord loop here. All right, so I got this going, and what I want to do is I'm going to use gain automation literally just to make some of these hits be silent. So we're not going to hear some of these hits. And I'm going to do that by going down here in the bottom left-hand corner, like I said in the notes, click on the little automation symbol, and it brings up this envelopes button here. And the envelopes button in here are the envelopes page. And the envelopes page, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go to clip, and you have clip, and you have your plugins, and you have your mixer. So for example, if I put a filter in here, I have an auto filter here, and I go back to the automation, the envelopes. It's going to show up as as a plugin right here, auto filter, utility, mixer, clip. So for gain automation, I want to use the clip. And now you can see in here, it's got my my audio file. You can see the audio waveform, and you can see there's this blue line in here. And under clip, we have volume, transposition, sample, offset. And so volume is basically my clip gain right over here. It's this right here. So now the way this works is that the envelopes, especially your clip envelopes, are actually a percentage of something, especially this volume one. So you'll see there's the blue line here, and the blue line, if I zoom in, it says 100%. That's what it says. So what I can do is I can take, let's say I want to get rid of this one here. I just want to turn the volume down when that one comes around. So I just highlight it, and I drag down like this. And now let's listen to it. Right, I'll get rid of this one as well. Boom. Let's get rid of this one. And this one. And I could also use my draw tool to just draw in like this, and it's a bit faster if you're used to it. So now, and right now they're just all the way down, but they don't have to be all the way down. I could put them up a little bit. So now, these here. So you can hear. So you can see. Pretty cool. And I can get rid of these little dots here and make them into points like this. And if I hold down Option, I can adjust the curve here like that. So for example, if I do that, I can hold Option. I can get rid of it and hold Option. And now I've just basically edited that audio. So that's that. Now, if I wanted to go in here and put some filter envelopes in here and have some filter automation happening, I can click on my envelopes here. And instead of clip, I'm going to go to auto filter. And let's change the frequency here. So now I've got this. Got that. If I click on this, put that right in the middle. And let's go ahead and draw in some automation like this. Grab that, right click, put like a thing in. Like that. And this one here. Yeah. Cool. And this one here will have the same thing, but it's going to be the opposite direction. And I can highlight these and copy and paste anywhere. I can drag these around. Like this. Right, so you can see I can move that around. I'm like messing with the automation filter. And if we look at the automation filter, and what you're seeing is it's not actually moving the knob, it's moving the blue line inside of here. And this is also, if we look at our volume, if I go back to my volume envelope here, my click envelope here, see how it's moving this blue dot? Well, this blue dot is a percentage of my actual volume level. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, remember, who was it? It was RJ. You were talking about the kind of stutter effect that I was doing. You talked about using the Beats mode to do that. Well, we can also do that stutter effect with the volume envelopes in here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to highlight all this and hit delete. And I'm just going to go ahead and let's change this to 30-second notes. I'm just going to go ahead and grab every other one. Like that. And I'm going to highlight this and now copy it and duplicate this. Wait, let's make that more steady. There we go. Too fast. Hold on a second. Let's use. That's because I'm in 64th notes. I didn't want to be on 64th notes. Here. So now I got this. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Drag that over. Duplicate. Right. So I got that. Now, let's say that I want to have this go over the whole time like this, but I really don't want it. I just want it, like, let's say if my clip is a lot longer, or I just got this first bar here, and I just want this first little beat to loop over and over and over again, but I want to play the audio for the whole clip. So basically what I'm saying is I want it to play the clip audio, but I want it to loop one section of my envelope, and I can do that with this unlink or linked over here. So see how it says envelopes, clip, volume, and then loop says linked right here? I can unlink that, and I can change this now to a 1-bar loop, like that. And now that little section, that one beat is gonna loop. But you can see up here, it's playing through the whole clip. Right, so that's your clip envelopes. Clip envelopes can be linked or unlinked, and every envelope, every separate parameter that you're doing a clip envelope for can have its own loop length. So you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with that. So, for example, let's say I just wanted to grab. Yeah, exactly. I totally hear you. I remember the first time I learned about this stuff, I was just like mind blown by all this stuff. Actually, I was the thing was I was learning about this stuff as Ableton Live was like making it back in the day, because I've been using it since version 1. So every time they would come out with a new feature, and I was friends with the managers at Live, and yeah, it was really fun. Like back when they were releasing, like every version had all this like crazy stuff, and it was really cool. It's not quite like that anymore. They don't release new versions all the time. But yeah, it was really fun learning about all this stuff. So so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one here, this little bit that I've got, and we're gonna go ahead and change the filter here and unlink the filter. And now my filter can have some cool stuff. Nice, Zaint Darko. Glad. So now this filter envelope can be doing its own thing as well. So I'm gonna have this be like this type of thing. Cool, there we go. Nice. Oh, here, we can even have this loop as well as part of the clip envelope here. This clip envelope will have this part do some stuff as well. So we'll go in here to our mixer, our reverb amount, and we'll unlink that. And we'll have that be 2.5. Just for this, you made your decision. Yeah, it's dope stuff, right? Telling you, with an echo? What? So here we got this. Move this down. Do this. There we go. Probably flip these. Let's flip these backwards. Boop, boop. There we go. Like that. So the way you pull up a clip is down here on the left-hand corner. See this little button with the dots? That's how you pull it up. How do you have, let me see, Kashan says, you have that automation on the chord clip, right? But the entire aux is being affected, so anything sent to that aux would be automated? No, it's just that one, it's just that one. See it? I don't think there's a way to see it. Oh yeah, here we can see it over here on this one. It's showing you my send amount right here. Right. So it's not, yeah, it's not affecting everything. If I had other stuff going to that same one, it's just, yeah, not on the, oh, you're looking at this panning here. Yeah, no, that's a different thing. Yep. All right, let's also send some delay, shall we? Let's send some delay over. And we're going to go ahead and boop. Wait, what's happening? Oh wait, wrong. Oh no, I need. So one thing you need to make sure is you need to make sure you turn this up, because remember, some of these are a percentage of what you're sending, like the amount that's being sent. So for example, right now this is like, I had to set this at 0, and this is like 100% up top, and it's like 0% down bottom. Hold on. Sorry, wait, let's not use that one. Hold on a second. Let's use a different, let's make another echo and duplicate that track. Can I duplicate it? I can't duplicate that? Oh, that's funny. I can do this though. Take this one and grab it and drag it down. I never tried to duplicate a, never tried to duplicate a return track. Guess you can't. And I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna delete the feedback automation on here. And we're gonna use the ping pong effect. And we're gonna use this one here. Inside of here, like that. Get rid of you. And this one here, the echo synth, this new delay I just put in here, we're going to automate that. We're going to do 3. There we go. And quarter notes. So we're going to like this, and hit play. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, cool. Nice. Yeah, cool. Cool. Cool, nice. So you see how this is, like I'm just basically setting this up, and it's sounding like it's not just like all these like rhythms are getting offset from each other, like it's sending the delay to the delay and all this stuff. So it's a very, like you can set these really cool things up in here. So this is a big one. I'm a huge fan of these kinds of things, especially if you're kind of making more generative music like Brian Eno type of stuff. If you're a fan of Reich, then you know RJ, I'm sure you know Brian Eno. And you know, generative stuff when you start to work with these envelopes and things like that. So very, very cool stuff. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Sorry. Um, Schwager, what you're saying is a bit off topic from what I'm talking about today, but so I don't want to go too deep into it. But really, I mean, it's up to you to make your sounds sound original and cool. I unmuted it now. Um, so basically what I mean is that certain, like, and this is a good thing to talk about here for just a second, but certain sounds are what define a genre. So you're not going to have like trap is trap not only because of the tempo and because of the hi-hats going but because of the sound of the bass, because of the sound of the kick, because of the sound of the snare drum, because of the sounds of those hi-hats. That's what makes it trap. House music, well, house music is a wide open thing, but if we're talking about like deep house, for example, well, deep house, especially in like 2012 when people were 2010, 2012 when people were first doing deep house, it had like the same bass sound on every single track, and these were sounds that kind of defined the genre. So certain sounds need to sound like everyone else to a point, because that's what helps your audience be like, oh, that's this genre, that's that genre. And that's just how it is. But it's kind of like saying every synth comes with presets, so everybody sounds exactly the same when they're playing the synths. And that's not the case at all, because if once you've been doing it for long enough, and you've been producing for a long time, you start to learn tricks on how to make your music kind of stand apart and how to do your own stuff. So, you get a synthesizer, and just because it has presets, and you might even start from those presets, but that doesn't mean when you're finalizing your song, when you're kind of making everything sound yours, that you're ending up with those same exact presets. You tweak things here and you tweak things there. So even these samples like kicks and snares, whatever, kicks and snares are kicks and snares. You can add some cool stuff to them. I mean, definitely you can do some different things, but there's plenty of producers making a lot of money who are using the same kicks and snares, but then make stuff sound really interesting. It's like saying, absolutely, something like arcade. I don't really know what arcade is, but it's just loops, is just another instrument. Absolutely, but it's like what you do with those loops and stuff. So let me give you an example. I don't know how long you've been in this chat group, but here, let me just give you an example here. Let's go a little bit off topic here for just a second, because we have time, because we've been doing pretty good with our time for what I wanted to get through today. And let me grab a loop, and I'll go into my sample libraries. Here, I'm gonna mute this for now. Okay, so we got that going on. Well, here, I'm gonna mute this cymbal as well, because I want to come back in. Okay, and now we're gonna go in here, and I'm gonna grab, these are from not Samplephonics, sorry, they're from Sample Magic. And Sample Magic, I love Sample Magic libraries, but Sample Magic's a very famous company. You gotta walk the dog. All right, go walk that dog. So let's go in here to House Nation, and let's listen to some wave files. But I would say Bado Beats, off topic, doesn't mean uninteresting. You should teach the dog to walk itself. So I'm gonna go in here, I hit play, and I'm gonna listen to these. All right. Okay, I'm gonna use this. Okay, I'm gonna use this right here, and drag that in, and I'm gonna go ahead and space it out like that, and set the transients in here. So now we have this loop. So I got this loop. I'm going to take this loop and I'm going to make it 16th notes. You know what? I started to talk about earlier and I forgot. I got sidetracked. We didn't put a groove on this. We need to put a groove on this one. So here we've got this open hi-hat loop, and this is just whatever. Before I start messing with it though, I do want to put a groove on all these loops. So let's go in here. All these tracks need to have grooves on them all. It's going to highlight everything. Well, not the Tony vocals. Don't need a groove on Tony vocals. And groove, MPC. Let's use 56 now. All right, cool. And you can hear it's got a little bit of a feel to it now. All right, so let's open up this hi-hat loop again now. Okay, so this hi-hat loop. All right, and so I'm answering Schwager's question right now. It's a good question. What's gonna, if I'm just using loops from everywhere else, what's gonna set me apart from other people? So we can take this, and I've got this loop in here, and it's a fine loop, whatever, it is what it is. But let's put some stuff on it. Let's make it a little bit special. Let's make it unique. Let's make it our own. And we can do that with a lot of stuff or a little stuff. So let's just start here with a little bit of stuff. And here we've got an auto filter. And the auto filter has this on it. And we'll make it OSR. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all right. Auto filter is, it is what it is. Here, let's go ahead and, I don't want the whole loop. Let's just grab this part of the loop. So we're just going to grab that part right there. Now, let's take this and run it through something interesting here. Let's go into our plugins. And let's see. Let's use, well, I've got Isotope. It's not something I use very much, but let's use some Isotope. What is it? Isotope, stutter edit. Let's use stutter edit from Isotope. It's not something I use that much, but you can do some cool stuff with it. So down here under stutter edit, is it here? Stage, or was it called Isotope stutter edit? It was called Isotope stutter edit. So we got this here. I know, you work differently, you're different. Okay, so I got this. Now, before I start messing with this, I really need to set up another audio track to record this stuff into. And actually, I'm going to do this not from this window here. I'm going to do it from this window over here. Okay, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to get my, I'm going to rename this to Open Hi-Hat Effects Bounce, like that. And I'm going to go in here and say, all right, I'm going to assign a MIDI track to go to this thing here. So MIDI track is going to go over here to my overhead, open hi-hat loop. I don't want the audio 2, not the audio 2. Get out of here. MIDI 2, open hi-hat loop, and stutter edit. So now I can play these. There we go. Cool. So now, before I start messing with that, and y'all are probably looking at this going, ooh, that looks pretty. What's that going to sound like? You're going to hear what it's going to sound like in just a second. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the audio from it, so I'm just recording all the time. And this is like, you know, always be recording. Now, one thing about stutter edit, if you are going to use stutter edit, then I recommend that you put a limiter afterwards, because some of these get pretty loud. I'm going to set the ceiling to -5. So now we hit go, and now we can go ahead and start recording over here. I'm going to record it dry. 3, 4. Right. Right, so I can go. You know, and stuff starts to get weird pretty fast. Yeah. Right. And you start adding effects into stuff. And now I've got this, all this stuff I just recorded. Right. And there's some cool stuff in here actually. There's like a couple 2-bar loops in here. That one's pretty cool. And over here. That one's kind of cool. We're gonna grab a little bit more than that because I like to go 2-bar loops here. That one is pretty cool. That's kind of cool, actually. The 4-bar loop. But actually what I would want is like a little back and forth between this one and this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab both of these and throw them over here on this side. Like there. I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna grab this one here and move it over there. I grab this one and move it over there. Grab that, and then I'm gonna consolidate these together. And now this is like a little loop that I've got. Loop it. Turn you off. Nobody wants you. And now I can throw this over here in the beginning. And so I've taken this like, now I've taken this like completely boring hi-hat line that started off like this. Right? Actually, it didn't start off like that. It started off like this. And that's not even how it started off. It started off like this. Right? That's how it started off. And that's what everybody else would have. And what I did was I turned it into this. Like this. Right? And give it a little something something.
Up all night, what?
Huh. Okay, and we put that with this sound over here. So I hope that answered your question. I subscribe to a few different places. I don't really buy stuff off of Splice just because I've got enough stuff. And what I do like to do, though, is I will go get presets for synths. I'm a big fan of Pigments right now from Arturia. I really like Pigments a lot. I think you can do a lot of really cool stuff with it. And I like getting presets, and I like messing around with presets. Next week, tomorrow, actually, we're going to start messing around with synthesizers, and I'm going to show you about synthesizers and stuff, and then we're going to talk about samplers, and then we're going to put it all together. Oh, yeah, and I'm going to make it jacked producers. You're like, yeah, my big arms. Sad, really. It started so silly and simple, and now it's the theme song for Corona Summer. It's true. Right. So there you go. Now, after going through all that, though, there's a lot of producers, aka most producers, who don't bother going through and making sounds that sound so pretty cool. For sure. And so it's up to you. You know, it's up to whoever's a producer in here, who's gonna be like, I'm gonna put music out into the world, to be like, I'm gonna put music out that's actually good, and not just regurgitating everything else. And just chasing a dollar. Because good music isn't necessarily appreciated at first, you know, so. We were talking about Walker and Royce, and I think Bato, I think you were talking about Walker and Royce, right? And you've opened up for them and stuff, and really, really good friends of mine. I used to live with Gavin, and Sam's been a really good friend of mine for a long time, and Sam's always been an amazing producer, always, even before he started working with Gavin. But it took a long time for people to start recognizing them. And now it's like you go to festivals and they're playing festivals. They just played EDC in Mexico in front of like, I don't know, the crowd looks like it's like 80,000 people or something. It's like some crazy amount of people. And it's insane what's going on right now with them. But I always knew it was going to happen because they're so good, but it's just a matter of really, really working hard and connecting all the dots together. So sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it never happens. I mean, there's plenty of like famous composers who died, and then after they died, people found their music and they were like, wow, this person's really amazing. But during their life, you know, obviously that's not the goal. You know, and times are a little bit different now because we have the internet, but still. So, where are we? Envelopes. Okay, so we talked about all the envelopes, yes. Clip envelopes. Nick Drake. Yeah, but he was famous during his life, right? I think they just, like, or is he alive? Yeah, but these are all people who were famous while they were alive. They just continue to be famous after they died. I think I'm talking about like somebody who was like not really. Nope, not famous. Okay, yeah, I obviously don't know enough about hip hop. But yeah, who was the other one? Another one was Sublime. Like he wasn't so famous. I don't know. I think during his life, and then he didn't get big until that TV commercial. I don't know which TV commercial. But yeah. Well, there you go. That's really too bad. Yeah, Sublime. Yeah, Sublime was much bigger after he passed away, right? Yeah. Step 1, shoot for the stars. Step 2, study all the stars. Step 3, connect the dots. Yup. All right, let's take a look at this stuff. Okay, so it's all in the notes. All the stuff I just talked about. I just wasn't using the notes, but it's all in the notes. It's all right here in the notes. Here it is in the notes, talking about literally everything we just talked about. Okay, something that we didn't just talk about is in the arrangement view over here, how we can get some stuff and let's see, is there anything in here? No. Let's say the automation I was messing with in here on this echo synth. Oh, here, echo automation. Here we go. Boop. Down here for my vocal. So here's this. Here's my automation for this. But what if I wanted to like have a few different points of automation that I was messing with in here? And I think with the echo synth, I think we did it maybe with something. But I see this little plus button. We talked about this the other day briefly, but here it is officially. This little plus button right here. You hit the plus button, and in this plus button, now it drops down an automation lane, and I can make this automation lane bigger. And I could have multiple automation lanes. So I go in here and like this, and I can hit plus on this, and I can have it so I don't have any reverb on this part of my voice. Okay, so if I hit...
Up all night, what? Cause I'm scared. People trying to come in to my bedroom, y'all, and cough in my face.
Right? So, I love it. Still walking your dog, but you're coming in mobile. Good. So you heard how this one, the reverb cut out right here because I turned the reverb down, automation. And these are automation lanes, and I can close these up by clicking on this arrow right here, close it up, and open it like that. So that's your automation lanes there. What else? That talks about that right there. Is that the end? Oh, that's the end. Wait, no, that's not the end. I've just not clicked on it. There. No. Is it the end? What's going on? Yeah, it's not the end. Okay, so here's the thing with automation, and I'm going to leave you with this as we take a break here. In Pro Tools, automation is king. And what does that mean? That means that if I have automation on a track and I try to move that parameter, whatever it is, volume or filter or whatever, it's going to go back to the automation. So if I have like an automation up here for my volume level and I turn the fader down here, it's going to automatically, the fader is going to come back up to this point here. And that's because in Pro Tools, automation is king. Everything follows the automation. Ableton Live is not like that. In Ableton Live, the automation is overridden. What you do live, that is king. So if I wanted to adjust my filter or adjust my volume level or something like that, all I do is I just grab it, I just turn it, I move it, I do whatever, and it automatically stays at that point right there. If I wanted to go back to the automation, I click on this button here. So if I go in here and I move, see, watch this. See, I've got the automation on this amount, send amount. If I move this, now this orange arrow came on right up here up top. This came on. This orange arrow is the re-enable automation. And if I click that, now these lines that are grayed out because these lines are no longer being used, I click the button and now it goes back to being red again, so they're being used again. Automation is, that's funny. Yeah, so in Ableton Live, you can take it and grab something and move it around, and then if you move it and you like that new level better, what you can do is you can say, all right, I checked out this new level, so I can actually move my old automation, I can move it back, I can move it to whatever my new level is at, like right there. So I could do like that.
People trying to come in to my bedroom, y'all.
Well, let me just re-enable that. There we go.
People trying to come in to my bedroom, y'all, and cough in my face.
Right? And this part here, cough in my face. Stop. This cough in my face part is definitely gonna have a cutout. There we go.
Bedroom, y'all, and cough in my face.
Yeah. Cool.
People trying to come in to my bedroom, y'all, and cough in my face.
All right. Cool. Sweetness. All right, let's take a break. Let's take a break. 10 minutes. Be back at 5:03. And then we're going to finish up talking about this. We can talk about some other stuff because we're pretty close to being done with this stuff. So any kind of review stuff you want to go over, because tomorrow we're not talking about Ableton Live as much anymore. We've covered that over these last 4 days, and we're going to be going into synthesizers tomorrow. So if you have any questions or whatever, yeah, let's hold them for after the break. All right, cool. Peace.